Hi everyone, welcome to Ace with Ease. Today we're going to be looking at how to find the equation of a linear graph or a straight line function when given 2 points. Okay, from the onset we must know that in order to find the equation of a linear function we need two things. Firstly is the gradient or the slope, okay, which is represented by m on the standard equation. So we're talking about this m, okay, and the c, which is the y-intercept, or where the graph cuts the y-axis. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is to find the equation. Okay, now the equation is to find the gradient. Now the gradient is given by m equals to y2 minus y1 x over x2 minus x1. So what you need to do is that you need to label your two coordinates that are given, or two sets of coordinates. Okay, so if you start from, we are given two coordinates, the coordinates of A and coordinates of B. Okay, if you start from B, then you're gonna say the x value of B is x1 and the y value is gonna be y1, and the x value of A is gonna be x2 and the y value will be y2. Okay, so you can do it in any order. So that is to say, you can start from A and let the first the coordinate, the x coordinate of A, which is negative 4, be negative 4, be x1, and the y value, which is negative 1, be y1. Okay, so you can do it in any order. There's no strict formula, strict way of doing it. Okay, so from here we're just going to label them and we're just going to substitute there. Okay, so the y2 is negative 1, we substitute there, and then y1 is 3, so it's going to be negative 1 minus 3, and then the x2 is negative 4 minus 2. Okay, so overall we'll end up with a gradient of 2 over 3. Okay, so after finding our gradient, okay, using the gradient formula, what we need to do is that we'll have to take either of the equations. We can either of the coordinates. We can either take the coordinate of A or the coordinate of B, okay, and use it together with the gradient that we got in our first step. Okay, so okay, when in either case, whether we use the coordinate of A or we use the coordinate of B, we should get the very same C. Okay, so in this case I've used both of them so that you can see that it doesn't matter which one you use. Okay, so okay, let's look at what happened. Okay, when I used the gradient that we got in the coordinates of A, I substituted. Okay, so from the coordinates of A I put the y value, which is negative 1. I substituted it onto the standard form equation, and the gradient, which is 2 over 3, I substituted it there, and the negative 4. So the x and the y values are from the A coordinate, and the m is the gradient that we got in step 1. So I just substituted and simplified. I got my C to be 5 over 3. Okay, so now I can write my whole equation, because now I have got what my C, which is 2 over 3, I got in the first step, and C, which is what I got now. So which means my equation is going to be y equals to 2 over 3x plus 5 over 3. Okay, so similarly, even if I had used the coordinates of B together with the gradient, I would still get the same thing, because I would substitute the y value of B, which is negative, which is 3, and the coordinates of the gradient, which is 2 over 3, and the coordinates of the x value at B, which is 2. I would substitute them here, and I would still end up with a C of 5 over 3. Okay, so what this is meant to do is to show you that either you use regardless of the coordinates that you use together with the gradient, you'll still get the same C. So in a test or an exam situation, you will choose any of them. You can choose either of them. Okay, you still get the same answer. If you can see, the final equations on both sides is the same. Y equals to 2 over 3x plus 5 over 3. Y equals to 2 over 3x plus 5 over 3. Okay, so it doesn't matter which set of coordinates do you choose to use. Okay, let's look at another example. Okay, so we have example 2, and you've got 2 points, point P and Q. Now the coordinates of P is -1 and 3, and the coordinates of Q is 3 and -5 again. So firstly you would have to label your coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, again the order doesn't matter. You can either start from P to Q. So label the coordinates of P, x1 and y1. I've labeled the coordinates of Q, x1 and y1. Okay, I decided to start at P. Okay, so from there I would use the gradient formula, which says that the gradient of a straight line is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, and I just substituted. When I substituted and simplified, I ended up with m is equals to -2, which means that the gradient of this line is -2. Okay, so after getting the gradient again, so after finding the gradient, you can either choose either of them coordinates, or of the set of the coordinates. So you can choose P or you can choose Q. You'll end up with the same coordinate. Okay, so I used both again to prove that it doesn't matter which one you choose. Okay, so when I used P as my set of coordinates and substituted them into the standard formula together with my gradient, which I found in the previous step, I got my C to be 1. Okay, when I used Q, I still got my C to be 1. Okay, so eventually my equation will be the same regardless of which coordinate I've used. Okay, so this is it about finding the equation of a linear graph given 2 points. Okay, so let's just recap. So what do you need? Okay, firstly you'll be given a set of coordinates. Okay, at least two pairs of coordinates. So what you need to do is that you have to label them x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, and then you use those two pairs of coordinates. Okay, and you find the gradient. Okay, and after finding the gradient, you will use that gradient together with one of the points. Okay, in the examples that we did here, I've used 2 points to illustrate the fact that it doesn't matter which one you use, as you would have seen that in both cases I would get the very same value of C. Okay, so after getting your C, then you would substitute your C into the standard form. The standard form is y equals to mx plus C. So for m, you would substitute the value that you got in the first step, which is the gradient. So like in this instance, the value of m is -2. So I would substitute -2 where there is m, and then C is 1. So I'll substitute 1 where there is C. Okay, on my standard form. Okay, so guys, I hope this was helpful, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and let's meet in the next video. Okay, thank you.